So today we got a letter from the devs for Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier on their main website. And it looks really cool. We've got a bunch of bug fixes and what the adjustment's going to be on December 17th. And yeah, I think we're going to get straight into it, this is really cool. This is the stuff I like to see. So it says, hello everyone, my name is Shoichi Ichikawa. Sorry if I botched the name there. Producer of Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier. I want to thank you all for sticking with us despite server issues and bugs we experienced at launch, and for your continued support and constructive feedback. Yes, that's very important that everybody's doing that. We currently have our ears planted firmly against the community and are using your feedback to help us improve the game experience. Fantastic. To keep you up to date with how we plan to update the game going forward, I will write the update notices like this one. In them I hope to share our thoughts, address your questions and requests, and provide you with information for future updates. Fantastic, that's what we want. I apologize in advance for the lengthy notice, but I hope you find it informative, which I think this kind of thing is needed, right? Like, we definitely needed, they definitely need to be very transparent with the community, and that's what we're going to get with what we're about to see. So first up, we've got the bug fixes here. So it says there are still bugs we haven't been able to fix yet, and for that I apologize. We're currently working on them with a particular focus on crashes. Fantastic. So crashes, we believe that many of the crashes are caused by memory control issues, so like memory leaks and stuff. So we are analyzing this so we can identify the underlying cause and fix them in a swiftly manner. That's good. That's good. Yeah, because a lot of the crashes I think I've had so far is really, it's only really been if the game's been running for an hour and a half or like, you know, for 2 hours or so. It's happened a couple times on stream already, and yeah, it can be annoying, but luckily it's been easy to get back into a game. So that's been the good side of it. So I haven't minded the crashes on my end, but I know people are getting them much more frequently than I do. So next we've got controller bugs. Oh my god, yes, thank you. We are aware of several issues players encounter when using a controller. So here we go. We are currently receiving a great number of inquiries regarding controller support, so we would like to let you know we are prioritizing error fixes for the below devices. So we have DualShock 4, which is the main controller I've been using, and I'm glad to see some fixes there, because there is definitely, compared to using the Xbox wireless controller, which I also did use for the beginning of a lot of the content I was doing. Yeah, it was, that controller was fine, but the sticks were just not sensitive. Like for me, it just doesn't really, it didn't really jive too well. DualShock 4 has been so much better, but it has issues with the triggers sticking, and I can't seem to stop firing the gun at times, or, you know, aiming down the sights, which I imagine they will address. So we've got the GameSir G4 Pro platform, multi-platform game controller. That's interesting. And the SteelSeries Nimbus Plus wireless gaming controller. So it's good they're prioritizing these four. I know these four in particular are used. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what they're going to do with that. And they said we are also working to fix a number of other bugs prioritized in order of severity, which makes sense. Thank you for your patience while we address them. Yeah, so this sounds like good stuff already, right? This sounds like really good stuff already. It's important that they address the crashes. That's definitely a priority, because if you can't play the game, then you're gonna lose players. So that clearly is the biggest priority. And with controller support, I'm glad they're having that as a pretty big priority, because that is my ideal way to play the game, and along with many of you out there. And it's great to see them start with this. Like that's good. So thumbs up in my book. We've got the increased frame rate option. So we are currently working to increase the maximum frame rate. The game currently has 3 frame rate settings: high, medium, or low. In response to the numerous requests for a 60 FPS option, we are working to implement a higher frame rate setting that will accommodate this and provide for a smoother experience on powerful devices. A smoother option will be fantastic anyway. Like 60 FPS, I think it's definitely warranted for a game like this, and yeah, I think it'll be fantastic once they add it in. So now we've got improved character movement. Oh my. So we are currently working on the below adjustments to improve character movement, and as follows. So adjust to movement speed reduction after firing. Currently, after you fire a weapon, a technique is required to restore your movement speed to normal, but we'd prefer that no technique is required. We're currently working to address this to facilitate more fluid movement. This is something I have a big problem with, because I usually, when I'm firing the gun, as you guys have mostly seen, and then like you're stuck in that aim, you know, like you can't move. You have to swap your weapon or do a special move, do something to get out of it to run away. Been one of the biggest issues for me getting really up close to people, and yeah, I try, you know, it's very tough, right? It's very tough. Having to swap to a different item, or different weapon or anything like that, it's a little bit cumbersome, especially with the current setup on the controller. Alright, so we've got other adjustments and improvements. So additional options that only turn the scope on while holding the ADS aim down sight buttons. Thank you. So the amount of times I think we've all experienced when we're aiming, and it's like a toggle, whereas you hold it down, it does work to an extent, but I found when I hold it, sometimes the aim will just stay there when I take my button off. So half the time it's not really worth aiming down the sights, and some of us just do it out of reflex because playing shooters. But yeah, this is great to see. This is great to see another option that they're adding in. Like, I think that's definitely what was needed. Improve to camera distortion when starting ADS. Okay, so I think that involves the rest of the screen being blurred out while you're actually aiming down the sights. I think that's a good idea because at the moment it's very abusable to be able to see enemies zoomed in really close outside of the scope. You know, you're zoomed in at full view, and that's completely broken in my eyes. Very abusable. So good to see that they're addressing that, and it's going to add to the challenge when they finally fix that. So we also got greater customization, freedom for the heads-up display. It involves what we got UI elements such as the voice chat button, team chat button, Chocobo dismiss button, and other buttons will be made movable and customizable, which is fantastic because the Chocobo buttons are currently not changeable, and I can't wait to see, you know, we can just remove those or move them down, whatever we can do. I don't use the voice chat button or team chat button that much because I actually rely on Discord personally for my own matches. It's good to see that option here too. And we also got options for fixed view position when using materia. That's an interesting option. So we'll see how that one goes. I don't think I quite understand how that one, what they mean by that, because being a materia user, I literally just aim and throw it. There may be something else to that. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments what that kind of means. So options to move the view camera around freely when riding the helicopter. Yes, I think that should have been a feature day one. That should have been a feature day one, but definitely, it's definitely good to see them adding it now, you know, because sometimes you want to look all the way around and see where people are dropping so you can have better, you know, a better chance of putting some tactics in, you know, because at the moment it's sort of just like you can sort of see people dropping in front of you, or if you just keep an eye on the other choppers and then just drop where you need to drop. But yeah, it's there's not really much in terms of tactics at the moment in the game for that kind of thing, so good to see them adjusting that and adding it. Adjustments that will allow you to move in the same direction in which you were directing the helicopter immediately after driving. Currently, after tapping the dive button, there is a brief pause before you can direct your character in the direction you want to dive. Right, okay, so that one, I think I do know what they're talking about there, but it's nice to see that they're giving more helicopter options, you know, more like flexibility, more fluidness with it. But yeah, it's good to see that they're doing something with that. So they are looking at everything, which is great. And there's also going to be adjustments to various sensitivity settings, which is great because at the moment with the sensitivity settings, I feel like it's like a placebo effect when I'm using them for the controller especially. I don't really see much of a change, and I'm glad to see they're going to be adjusting that too. So fantastic. So there's a questionnaire here as well. We plan to hold a questionnaire during December to gather feedback for Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier, including the controls. Find out anything we're missing that needs tweaking or improvement, and we look forward to your responses and feedback. Awesome. So that's good. So everyone, make sure you're a part of that. And this game relies on community feedback, and the stuff they've shown here already shows that you guys are definitely like, you know, you're sharing your thoughts, you know, whether it's the happy ones, the bad ones. They want to hear it all. They need the longevity of this game, right? It needs to last. So it all helps. So that's good to see. It's good to see they're frequently going to be adding questionnaires and stuff for us. So we've also got here matching and logic adjustment. We plan to use the data we've collected to help us optimize the matching logic for ranked matches. We hope to implement this adjustment at the end of December. That's very interesting. Yeah, from my understanding of this, it's they're trying to match people up a bit more fairly. It's good to see that they're looking into it and there's going to be some sort of fix for it. And now we have monster defeat logic, which is a very curious one. We are going to adjust the logic for certain monsters so that when players deal a certain amount of damage to these monsters, they will be counted as having defeated them. Okay, that's quite an interesting one. I haven't come across anything like that personally, but yeah, that's cool that they're looking into that as well. Quite interesting. So next we've got the glitch field adjustment. So we plan to address the issue of players outside the glitch field being able to attack players within the glitch field. Okay, I haven't seen much of that either. I have heard of this. It's good to see that once again they're addressing all this stuff again, so they need to. And then we have the balance adjustments. So we plan to implement the below adjustments on December 17th. So let's get straight into that. So first up, we've got the Chocobos. We've got base stats reduced, so attack and HP are going down because at the moment it seems like the Chocobo meta is just rampant everywhere. Just the amount of people who just ride chocobos and you just get killed from behind from it, it's just, you know, people are really good with chocobos, let's just say that. So we also got the actions that require stamina will consume more stamina to perform, which is good. So I think they're just trying to calm everything down, right? Because at the moment you can just get on a chocobo and it costs literally nothing. So damage to monsters also reduced, but I do understand why they're doing it. I kind of like the advantage of using chocobo to hit monsters. But yeah, it's good to see that they're changing that too, just add a bit more to the challenge. And also there's now a wing flapping sound when jumping will be added as a visual prompt on the screen. Really? Okay, that's pretty cool. So you'll get a sound and a prompt now. So that's good because at the moment you can just be killed out of nowhere by a chocobo and you wouldn't even hear it. That's definitely something that I've experienced a lot in the battles. Good to see that you know, they're taking that on board and they're finding a way, you know, to alleviate that. And I think giving the players more awareness of their surroundings, which is actually one thing I really love from this game. I actually do love how we get visual prompts for feet and, you know, the chocobo feet and all that kind of stuff, and player feet and footsteps. Yeah, it's good to see that they're doing more, you know, they're looking into that and doing something more about it. So with the chocobo skills, we've got power nap, cooldown time extended, perfectly understandable. Power nap's pretty good. So now we're on to sniper rifles. So we've got the Executioner Gamma, base damage is reduced and headshot damage is reduced, and damage can no longer pierce through a downed HP bar. That's quite interesting. So the sniper rifles are definitely getting a bit of a reduction, and I think they need to because yeah, I've been killed so many times by them, and I'm sure you all have too. So we also have the Mark V sniper rifle. Base damage is reduced, headshot damage is reduced, and damage can no longer pierce through down HP bar as well. And the rate of fire has been increased on the Mark V. So that's cool to see. That's cool to see. That will make up for the reduced damage. And yeah, I think I think that's a pretty good balance change for that weapon, honestly. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's good to see them addressing this. So we'll see how, going forward with this update, how that will change things, because, I mean, how could it not? Alright, so now we've got shotguns. So we got the Eclipse Eater and the Model S7, and base damage increased, which I think was definitely needed. But, yeah, I feel like at the moment in the game that the shotgun's kind of been a thing you quickly ditch just because of the lack of power that a shotgun should have at close range. But yeah, it's good to see them addressing this too. So that's so far the only ones for the weapon adjustments. So now we're on to materia. Now this is going to be a big one. So we've got the Ice Crystal durability increase. That's good because you can knock out a blizzard really quickly when someone drops it. So it basically makes it useless. This is a fascinating one for Thunder. So users and users' teammates cannot be damaged by its thunderbolts. That is a huge change. That is a huge change, and that's going to change so much stuff going forward, because you can literally just sit in the thunder and just bait people out. It's going to be absolutely insane. I actually don't mind this change. I actually don't mind it because the amount of times I've killed myself unwittingly with a thunder has been too many times, just due to how close, you know, the radius can be and all that, especially when you level it up, you know. And in the heat of battle, it's really hard to aim that thing, especially if you haven't had a lot of experience with it yet. It's definitely a good change. I like that one. So with bio, we're getting poison gas emitted when the bio ball lands can now penetrate walls. So I'll be honest, I thought it already did penetrate walls. I always felt like bio just initially did that just because of the area of effect. But this is going to stop camping. This is definitely going to sort of ease up on the camping. Like, it won't eliminate it completely because that's impossible, but it's good to see that they're looking for ways for players to be a bit more crafty and a bit more thrifty. So now that bio does this, that's going to change the game quite a bit. So next up we have Blind, which has MP consumption reduced to 1. That's quite fascinating. And the cooldown time's increased. Wow, okay. I think Blind is very underused, at least in my experience with this materia. But seeing it reduced to 1 definitely helps with using it a bit more and makes it a bit more of a utility or a good tool. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I would like to see them maybe increase the radius as it gets bigger. I know it's already a very large field. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like something else. Blind needs something else, but we'll see how this change goes. So we got Arrow as well. Now Arrow is the big one. We all know we all know what Arrow is like. So effect longevity reduced. Okay, so that's interesting. They're reducing the amount of time it stays on the field. That's going to be a big change. And cooldown time now shortens as levels increase. So that's really cool to see. So you've now really got to work to get yourself that strong arrow. Basically, so I'm guessing the very minimal arrow, the first level of arrow, level 1 arrow is going to basically be what, not even like maybe like a 5-second thing. Maybe it's going to be even shorter. Maybe even could be a little bit longer than that. Clearly, it's good to see them take effects with that, because right now it's really easy to escape a battle, or, you know, arrow is such a huge asset. It's such an asset to your tool belt, and like it's just interesting. I love to see what these changes will do. So it's going to change up the battle. It's going to change up how people think. Fire will not undergo any changes in this update, but may be updated in the future based on how it is used. Fire is just the absolute OP ability to use. It's insane, it's crazy, and people with the arrow fire combo right now. But yeah, it's interesting to see they're not doing any changes to fire. That's very interesting. So everything will stay the same. Cool, alright, cool. So now we're on to monsters, and this is going to be a very interesting one, because I think some of these changes are definitely needed. With the bomb, we've got counterfire and fire damage are reduced, which is great, because the amount of times I get killed by a base fire by this thing is just it's too much, and I'm glad they're reducing it. And we got the cutter as well, which the chainsaw shot damage is reduced as well, which I think is basically a one-hit kill at this point. I think at the moment, I've been killed too many times by this thing, and honestly, in my playthroughs, I mostly avoid it. I just, if I'm on my own, I don't bother. And of course, the Cerulean Drake, the max HP reduced, which is great because it takes a long time to kill that thing and will expose you most of the time to other players. It's also got its Icy Aura is removed when it drops to the ground after taking a certain amount of damage. So when it's staggered, it's actually going to remove its abilities. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea because you only have a limited amount of time to hit it when it's staggered, and that's the best time to get in and use your physical attack. And yeah, that's good to see that the effect will leave and you'll have that full advantage because you've knocked it to the ground. You've already done the work. So there's your reward, mate. Just get in there and do something about it. So these are good changes to the enemies. I imagine the Hedgehog Pies were getting nothing here because, the Hedgehog Pies are very standard enemies, and, I never saw a problem with them anyway. Alright, so next we've got the Revival. So a downed HP gauge of teammates will no longer decrease while reviving. That's very good. That's very good. The amount of times it's been clutch and you've got, you got a 10-second heal from someone, you got a 10-second revive from someone, but you could be at like 9 HP or whatever it is, and you're slowly going down. You could be within the field wherever you are, even if it's a level 1 field coming in, Marco field coming in. Yeah, it's good to see them make this change. It's good to see them make this change. It will definitely change up reviving, and I think you'll find teammates will be getting up much quicker now. So sensitivity when initiating a wall climb is increased. Okay, thank God. One big thing I have an issue with in this game is the parkour. So it's good to see them addressing this here. If you're trying to climb up walls, you've got that, 1 second, nearly 2 second slide down the wall before you start going up the wall. But let's hope it's I hope it's more of an instantaneous thing. That would be nice to see. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully they put a pretty good fix in that we'll be pretty happy with. So they also got here, we will continue to make improvements to the balancing of styles and weapons. Okay, so they're going to keep looking at this stuff and see what happens. So the styles are going to be an interesting one too when they eventually get to it. But I don't think there's anything about it for the styles, so they're just staying the way they are right now, which is fascinating. With styles, like, that's a very big fundamental part of the gameplay that you're picking out. So they really have to make sure when they adjust something, it's balanced across all the other classes. And that can be a very hard thing to do. So basically, at the end here, we've got our philosophy for balance adjustments is to adjust parameters in an effort to achieve an environment where players have a multitude of options. Going forward, we plan to continue to look at player data and directly examine the gameplay experience to create a fun and healthy meta. That's good. It's like they get it, right? It's like they get it. They understand. They understand that they need to be very transparent with their player base, because this is once again, community-driven game. It's a live service game. It needs its players to survive, otherwise it will be toast very quickly. And this is good. This is a fantastic start. We're only the first month into this game, and it's great to see them do this. I love this little tidbit here. If you made it all the way to the end here, thank you for taking the time to read this letter, and the entire development team appreciates your support, and we'll do all we can to make this game you can enjoy for many years to come. See, there we go. There we go. They want this to last for a long time. I'll continue to write updates like this, so be sure to keep an eye until next time. Fantastic. And we have one more little PS here from Tetsuya Nomura, who's just chiming in saying, we are planning a live stream next month to showcase the above adjustments and introduce lots of other new information. Oh, that's going to be interesting. We'll issue a notice as soon as more details are released, I guess, well, when they have more to share. So overall, I think these are really good changes. We really need to keep talking to them and tell them what's wrong. I think the classes in particular need a bit of a look at, need a bit of a review. Due to, like, especially on my streams, we get a lot of discussion about Warrior and Sorcerer and, even the Sleeper Hit Ninja. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they go forward with all that stuff, because once again, I imagine it's going to take some time to do. And yeah, this has been a fantastic piece. Like, this has been a fantastic bit of information dump that we needed in this game. And I think going forward, yeah, we're going to see how all this stuff changes, and I think we're definitely going to be spending some time seeing how everything works out. But yeah, this is great. This is fantastic to see. Well done, Square Enix. You're doing well, and I look forward to seeing what else you're going to do with this game in the future, because I love this game. And I know many of you out there do as well. So that's the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of all the changes that are happening here. And if you guys would like to check me out on twitch.tv/StormbreakerPirate, this is where I play Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier a lot, and have some really good conversations with you guys about the class systems and, all the weapons, everything that's going on. You guys have some great experiences to share. And I hope you guys will enjoy the next lot of videos we're bringing out. I'm hoping to bring out a new materia guide video for beginners very soon. And until next time, guys, be safe, be positive, be yourselves, and bon voyage.